Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigvalda Grim here and welcome to another Injustice 2 video. Today we are going to rank all the talents from the worst talent to the best talent. The things to keep in mind about this list is that when you're switching a talent, the game will tell you by how many points your threat is going to increase, but that number should not be taken into account that much because sometimes lower threat talents are actually better for you. And the overall health threat of your character is made in order to tell you how strong the character is, like relatively. But what really matters is how good that character is built. Like characters with much lower threat but with perfect builds can perform much better than characters with high builds. So when you're switching talents, don't regard the threat that the game is saying will change. With that in mind, we'll proceed with our list with the top 5 worst and then we will get towards the top 5 best. Keep in mind that this list is my personal opinion, but even so, I don't think this subject is very debatable and most informations that I'm going to present you are factual. If you like this video and you found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe in order to stay updated for more videos. And if you want me to do a full guide on talents and how to switch talents, let me know down in the comments. Also, if you have any question, you can leave them down in the comments and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. So without further ado, let's get into the list with our number 1 worst talent. Coming in at number 1 on this list, we have the Hero XP talent. And why is this the worst talent? Because first of all, it does not help your hero at all in combat. And secondly, the XP bonus that it provides is first of all not that great, and secondly will be useless once the character hits level 70. So if you have a character with an XP talent, you should really get rid of it, because let's see it that way. Instead of that talent, you could have a talent that will boost your combat capacity, and that talent that boosts your combat capacity can mean the difference between a loss and a win, and by that way it might actually be better for leveling up your character to not have the XP talent. The values for the XP talent are 5%, 10% and 20% for common, rare and epic, and I suggest you get rid of any hero XP talents that you have because they will be of no use to you. Coming in at number 2 is the health talent. The health talent is going to give you 1%, 2% or 4% depending on the rarity of it, and it is a terrible talent because of two things. First of all, the health on this talent is going to be calculated out of your base health of your character and not the total health of the character. So considering that, it will after you make the calculation, it will show to you that you will actually receive much less from this talent than you would receive if you were to put health on the gears. And on the other hand, if you want to make a character tanky, because that's the only reason you would want health on a character, then there are much better alternatives on the talent slots that we are going to discuss on the best talent section of this video. So for all those reasons, this talent is the second worst talent you can have on a hero. The third worst talent you can get is attack, and I know that this might come as a surprise to some new players, but again, it's a percentage value and is going to be calculated of your base attack of your hero, not of the total attack of the hero, so you will end up with half or less than half of what you could get in terms of attack on a gear. And that is why the value of this is really bad, but it did score higher than the health because there are some specific characters that will need this talent. But keep in mind, in 99% of the cases, this talent is a very bad talent and is going to be a waste for your talent slots. As the fourth worst talent, we have lethal attack chance, having the values of 4%, 6% and 12% depending on the rarities. This talent is not that bad in itself, but the problem with it is that it is in essence a worse critical attack chance. So if the critical attack chance was not present in the talents, this talent will have no place in the worst talents and might be in the best talents. But since we have the critical attack chance and lethal attack chance being just the worst variant of critical attack chance, he will get the number 4 slot on the worst talents. But keep in mind that there are certain characters, for example Brainiac, that actually need to build lethal, and it will be advantageous for you to build it on talents. But for any other character that is not lethal oriented specific, and there are very few characters that need lethal, this talent is going to downperform for you, and there is absolutely no reason that you would want it and replace it with something else as soon as possible. And coming up as the 5th worst talent you can get is the block effectiveness, having the values of 4%, 6% or 12% depending on the rarity. And this talent is not really a bad talent, because there are just 10 talents, so there had to be at least one decent talent that was on the worst. This talent is basically used for situations where the enemy has armor piercing on his abilities, and in that specific situation this is a bit better than the defense. But for any other situation where the enemy does not have armor piercing, this talent will perform less efficiently than defense talent, and the downside is that this takes effect only when you are blocking. Defense takes place even when you fail to block and you get hit. So it's basically a worse defense, but does have his uses, and it's good to use on some raid builds that are hitting phase 2, because phase 2 has only armor piercing abilities. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Coming in at number 5, we have Armor Pierce chance on basics. Depending on the rarity, this talent can offer you 8% chance, 12% chance or 24% chance. This talent is pretty good when you are using specific characters that are reliant on dealing damage while doing basic hits. And it basically does what it says. It gives you a chance to go through the enemy's defenses when attacking like they are not there. This talent only got the 5th place because it's more or less a niche talent and is used by only a select few characters in terms of raids. But on the characters that it is used, it performs extremely well and it is a must-have. So all the characters, all the other talents on this list are extremely generic, and you are going to see on a lot of builds this talent is going to be encountered more rare, and that is the only reason why it only got to number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have the critical attack damage. This talent has the values of plus 8%, plus 12% or plus 24% depending on the rarity of the talent. And this is going to be one of the best talents that you can use on your damage dealers, and is one of the most common talents that is seen. The reason that I have put this on number 4 is partly because this talent is going to rely on another stat that you are going to have on your heroes, which is critical attack chance. So unless you have critical attack chance, critical attack damage will be absolutely useless to you. So it was only logical that this would score lower than critical attack chance. And for the reasons that he is number 4 and not number 2, and critical attack chance being number 1 is going to be discussed when we talk about the next one, which will be critical attack chance. But most definitely this is a good talent, and if it is on a damage dealer, then most certainly keep it. Here we have the critical attack chance at number 3 best talent, and it will give you 4%, 6% or 12% depending on the rarity, and this is hands down the best offensive talent you can get. It didn't score higher on this list because it's a great talent, it's the greatest choice for a damage dealer, but in terms of general character building, I put this lower on this list than defense because it is chance based. So you have a chance that you will make use of these talents, but when it comes to defense, for example, you are guaranteed to get that percentage reduction of damage, and that is the only reason why it is below defense on this top list. But keep in mind that this is a great talent and a must-have talent on a damage dealer. Coming in at number 2, we have defense, and I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. You will get 4%, 6% or 12% depending on the rarity, and this will allow you to reduce the damage that you receive by a specific percentage, of course if the attack that's incoming is not armor piercing. And this is going to be a great talent, and a great talent for tank and sometimes for damage dealers, and most characters need to have a specific minimum of defense. So on any characters that you get this talent, you will keep it for a long time and it will perform amazingly for you. And I will talk about why it didn't get the number 1 on this list when I get to the number 1, because the number 1 is just amazing. And coming in at number 1 for the best talent in the game is the Resistances talent. This talent, depending on the rarity, will give you an 8%, 12% or 20% increase to stun resistance, dot resistance and critical resistance. Stun resistance is pretty explanatory. Critical resistance will reduce the effectiveness of the critical attack damage that your opponent has, and the dot resistance will reduce the dot damage that you are going to receive. And without saying, this talent is a jack of all trades and gives you a total of 10 resistances, and is the best value that you can get in the game in terms of talents. And this talent cannot be present on gears, since on gears you got the resistances separately, and stun resistance is one of the worst bonuses that you have on gear, by the way. And because of this, on any tank that you are going to use, this one will be mandatory, and it will yield you such great value. You are going to be resistance to stuns, which is not such a great part, but it also counts, resistance to critical damage, so every time you get crit, it will be reduced, and resistance to dot damage, and dot damage is going to be a pain in the ass at the higher arena levels. So not really from what it offers, but from the amount of things that it offers at once, this is the greatest talent that you can have. I still don't recommend doing this on a damage dealer, but on a tank or even at low level on starting characters, this talent is going to be amazing for you and is going to help you in the most situations. This was all for this video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you have any requests for future videos or any suggestions, also let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on more videos like this that will help you as a new player or even as an advanced player do better in the game. See you in the next one!